Hey YouTube, what's going on? Today, something a little different than what I normally do. I've been wanting to get back into handheld gaming lately, and just play Game Boy stuff mostly. There's a couple of channels I follow that do a lot of vintage gaming. One of them specifically does a lot of Game Boy stuff. He actually did a video on this when I was already thinking about buying it. He got like an early version or something and checked it out, and I was like, yeah, that looks pretty cool. So I went ahead and picked up one of these model number RG351V. It's from, Ambernick or something. It's just a Chinesium, handheld thing, but it's kind of nice. I'm going to show it to you here on the camera while I play it, but I thought I'd go ahead and do the box real quick. So I ordered this thing on a Tuesday on Amazon, and I went ahead and paid for the DHL shipping, which was like $35, $40, because I knew it would take a while to get here from China, and I just wanted to, play with it. When I'm filming this, I'm on vacation this week, and I thought it'd be nice to have, and it did. It came, the last day I worked, and that was nice. It comes in a, basic white box. It's got just the thing on the front there that shows you what you're doing. You just got this basic box here. And one thing I immediately did not like was their attention to detail. Sorry, there's a beard here. So they've got this little faceplate deal here, right? And, you've got the buttons here. So, logic would dictate that you would put it into the box with it like that. Well, whoever packaged mine had it like this, so these cutouts were doing nothing except exposing the screen. It arrived fine, not a big deal, just kind of a rushed attention to detail. All right, so the device itself, it's actually really cool. You can go check it out yourself and see the specs, but let's go ahead and show you here the system. Let me exit out to the main menu here. Sorry, I'm still trying to remember the buttons here. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and start it over here while I talk about it. What does this thing do, right? That's what you want to know. Personally, I bought it for Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Genesis, although it does do Sega Master System, and Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. This is why I bought it. It did promise that it would do Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1, some titles. Obviously, it's not going to work well with all the titles, because emulation for Nintendo 64 especially, I don't know about PlayStation 1 because I've never done it, but with the Nintendo 64, you do have a lot of issues trying to emulate some of those games. It's just the way it's always been. So I wasn't really expecting much when it came to that. But it does come with some titles. So I bought the cheapest version, which came with, 5,000 games or something. Let's talk about that for a second. When you get this, you're going to want to delete pretty much all the ROMs. It had games that weren't actually games, that were just horrible train wrecks of ROMs that people had made, like Super Mario 12 or something for the Nintendo, whatever. With the Nintendo ones especially, at least on my unit, they were numbered. So it was like 0001 title, 0002 title. So you can forget about alphabetical search, because it had that, like 1,000 something titles just like that. That was kind of annoying. You just pop out the bottom card here, throw it into, a card reader, hook it up to Windows or whatever, go into the ROM folders, delete the ROMs. If you've ever used anything that uses ROMs, you'll be fine. So I just went through and deleted all of those, put on some ROMs that I was actually interested in playing, and, that was that. I left a lot of the stuff on these consoles and like MAME and stuff that I've never used, but specifically with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega, I trimmed out a bunch of stuff. I will say that the card, when it came, had less than 2 megabytes of storage available. I couldn't actually copy it to my computer because there wasn't enough space on the card. Windows was like, hey, you need to free up some space on here. So I went in and just deleted one of the PlayStation titles that I didn't care about. And then I went ahead and copied the content of both cards over to my computer in case I ever need to recreate them or anything. The top card does have 2 partitions, so I made note of the specific partition names. So, you know, if I need to redo that, because as far as I can tell, there's no software to go ahead and format a card for you. There is this formatting software, but it basically just looks like, you know, like a basic Windows formatting thing. And I did not open it, but at least in the images on both the English and Chinese side, the characters are in, it's their Chinese characters. It's not English text. And I wasn't too keen about running that software on my computer. So, anyway, you know, you've got this basic menu. You just go through here. You've got the systems. You can see them in the video. You know, some of these things I've never even heard of, but I'm sure other people have. I had never played a Dreamcast game before either. They always had them in like Electronic Boutique or GameStop, whatever it was called back then. I think it was Electronic Boutique. But, you know, it never interested me because I didn't know anyone that had one. And we all know how Dreamcast went. It's still got a huge homebrew, but so it was kind of cool. I played some Sonic 1 on here. That was fun. Yeah, there you go. There's everything. So, okay, let's talk about the menu. You know, you have all your settings. One issue I did have when I set this up is the Wi-Fi. When I turned it on, it did not see any networks. Being that this thing has only been in people's hands for a couple of weeks, for the most people at the time of this video, there was nothing good coming up in Google when you search this thing. Actually, when you search this, the RG351V, you get a predecessor, which is like the RG351M or something. Google just assumes that's what you meant. But I did get the Wi-Fi to work. I had to enable, disable Wi-Fi several times, and then it did see my network. And then, you know, it just connected fine. Why would you want to connect it? Updates. There's no updates available at the time of this video. You can see that in updates and downloads. But what I wanted it for was to scrape the images for the games, just so I could see, you know, what I was looking at instead of looking at the text. I'll show you that in a little bit. If you've ever used like Picade or something, you're familiar with that. Something about the sound settings here. Show overlay when volume changes. By default on mine, this was not on. So when you were in a game, you know, you can control the volume over here, or you can control it via this button, and I believe one of the D-pads. I've not memorized the button configurations yet. I've only been playing with this for 4 or 5 hours over the course of the past weekend. But I did go ahead and turn show overlay when volume changes to on, because it's nice to see where the volume percentage is. That's something I like, so I can, you know, have a more consistent play experience. As far as this other stuff, a lot of it, like the song titles and stuff, that's stuff you're going to scrape, I think. I don't care about that. You do have game collection settings here. You know, you have all these settings, UI settings. There's different themes. I just left it with this carbon one that came by default. You can use a Bluetooth controller. That's kind of cool. So you have, you know, controller settings here. You have individual game settings. You can change the ratio and auto save and load if you want to save your state and all that stuff. There is net play. Supposedly you're able to take 2 of these devices and play together with them. But, you know, there's not much here. Some system settings, brightness and stuff. It does come cranked up to 100% brightness, which is obscene. It was so bright. When you do turn it on and off, there's a white loading screen that no matter what you do, it stays 100% brightness. And at least for me, it's a little painful to look at. So, you know, I'm keeping it down about 60%. I may take it lower. I don't think it matters. So, yeah. You can set favorites on your games, because if you do get a lot of games on here, you can have thousands of titles, depending on what system you're talking about. I haven't done that yet. But I just want to dive right in here to Nintendo 64. I did not expect it to be an enjoyable experience whatsoever. It has Castlevania, Mario Kart, Super Mario 64, Zelda, and then it had a couple other titles, I think, but I removed them because I didn't care about them. I was having trouble in Mario 64 doing his triple jump. Ooh, yeah! That thing. I couldn't get that to work. that could just be me. I remember it was kind of picky to get to work on the actual controller for the system. But man, Mario Kart 64. Let's fire this up here. I'll turn the volume down. Hey, you can see my reflection. So, you know, some of these titles, even on my Game Boy and stuff, it does take a minute to load them. But, not a minute, but, you know, it takes several seconds. No, not a big deal. So, you know, we've got our Mario Kart 64 here. Push the start button. I was surprised at how well this works. This is probably the thing I've played the most. We'll just do a one-player game real quick. 50cc, okay. Oh, I gotta remember what button, okay. What button actually gets me going here? We'll play Donkey Kong. Yes. Okay, so, you know, get our mushroom cup going here. This thing is surprisingly good. Like, I was honestly floored by how well Nintendo 64, at least for the couple of titles, you know, that it comes with, are working here. Oh, off to a slow start here. Oh yeah, sorry. I was trying to use the D-pad, not the joystick. Okay, so obviously this is a little hard to do when I can't actually see what I'm doing. I'm playing via a slow lag here, or a small lag, via my phone screen as I record. But, you know, see, it's working fine. I'm already in first. You know, let me get a power up here, and then we'll move on to another title. So, yeah, I paid about $140 for this shipped, I think. And let me hit the trigger for my power up. But yeah, see, it works good. You can go slower shipping and get it closer to $100 for this base model. I'll have an Amazon link in the description that I used, and I'm the first review there too, so you'll see that. But there we are across for our first lap. So yeah, so to exit a game here, we're going to hit this button, and then we're going to press down on this for the L3. We bring up a menu. So here in this menu, you can resume, restart the game, take a screenshot. You can select what save slot you want to save to. And then you can save your state, load your state, add it to your favorites. You can actually do recording. I haven't bothered with this. The SD cards that came with this thing aren't the greatest. On Windows, I was getting like 16 megabit a second transfer, which wasn't ideal because you were talking about backing up, I think 32 or 64 gigabytes or something, and it took a while. You can stream. I haven't really done that. I'm not sure how well that would work. I mean, this hardware isn't the best. You can come down here and get your cheats. Given that it is like Emulec or whatever, or not Emulec, forgive me, you'll tell me in the comments. It says up here, actually. RetroArch. Given it's RetroArch, you have to use the RetroArch cheats, but you can download them. You can go in here, come back down here to the cheats real quick. You can load the cheat file, or you can come here, where was it? Oh, maybe it was a load cheat file. Anyway, you can go in here and download cheats from their server, and then you can go in, so we'll come down here to Nintendo 64. Oops, Game Boy, sorry. And then what are we playing? We're playing Mario Kart. So we'll scroll down here. Obviously not all these games are on here. This is just their cheat database. Well, I'm not going to go all the way down to Mario Kart because it's going to take a while, but we'll just pretend Clay Fighter is Mario Kart. So then it loads all these cheats, and then you just, you know, toggle left or right to turn them on or off. And then it'll go ahead and update the game, and, you know, your cheats enabled. So to exit again, we're going to do this and this. Oh, no, sorry, we're already in that menu. Sorry, guys, I'm really getting used to this thing. Okay, so we've quit our game. Dumped you back out to the menu you were on. So, yeah. I haven't done a PlayStation title yet. Let me show you Dreamcast, because I was pretty surprised with it, too. Okay. Was that what I was playing? Yeah. So, I played this. This is the first Dreamcast game I've ever played. I was pretty entertained by it. Yeah. Like, I have to be honest, I did not expect this device to do stuff like this. Like, I know it said it did, but, you know, sometimes these Chinesium things, I don't know anything about this company. I had just seen a few videos about this coming out and was intrigued because I wanted to buy a backlit, like Game Boy Advance or something. I had Game Boy Advance, and well, I had Game Boy Advance SP, and then I had a Game Boy Color growing up. I sold wrapping paper from a catalog to pay for my original Game Boy, and then my mom would take it, and not to be like malicious or disciplinary or anything, she would take it because she was obsessed with playing Tetris, and she even bought an external battery pack that clipped onto the back of the game and would just sit there and play Tetris until it would die, and then be like upset that she had to wait, you know, several hours for it to charge. But so, you know, I've been playing these handhelds basically as long as they've been around, and my babysitter's kid had, you know, the Game Gear, so we would take turns playing that. So I just wanted to get back into this stuff, and yeah, so I got this thing, and I'm pretty surprised. We'll go to start here. Yeah, sure, whatever. One player, press start. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. The button configurations can get kind of weird. You're thinking Game Boy, but it's Dreamcast, and it's a controller I've never used. Yada, yada, yada. I actually don't think this is the one that I played. I think I deleted the one. I played some Robotnik one. But we'll check this out. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, the joystick. Whoa, okay. This game's... There has to be a way to slow... Okay, there we go. That's better. So apparently he is made out of some sort of super dense material if he can plow into a car and send it flying half a city block. But yeah, I'm terrible at this game, and I'm playing on a lag. Let me look over the phone here. Oh, that's a lot better. But yeah, you guys get the picture. It's, oh wow, you can stop. But, you know, if it'll play this, then it's going to play your Game Boy game or whatever. There we go. So, yeah. We'll just come in here and find you some Nintendo real quick. Well, let's do Super Nintendo. I will show you loading a save state. I was playing Zelda the other day. Where is it at? Okay, here we go, guys. Zelda. Where is Zelda? Here we go. I think the file's named Zelda, The Legend or something. So it was down in Z instead of in T, where I would have put it. So I do have cheats playing, so I went ahead and auto-applied them because I still had them turned on. We're going to come up here. We're going to load, or we're going to stay in the quick menu. We're going to load my state. And see? Now we're where I last played. Obviously, I'm cheating to have all the hearts. I just wanted to see how cheats worked. And I never really played this game much. Randy Kanselmeyer had this game when we were growing up. And I would stay over there sometimes and we'd play it. But yeah, you know, it's doing pretty good. Sorry, I have fast walk on too. Because I was pretty impatient. But, you know, sometimes cheating has its merits. But as you can see, it's doing Super Nintendo fine. So, yeah. My biggest complaints with this thing were... you know, they're pretty minor. You have the two cards, and the spring is ridiculous. I was trying to put this thing back in, and I found that you have to hold your thumb on it while you click it in. Otherwise, it'll go flying across the room if your fingernail pops off. I love the display. The sound's good, but I haven't been using it. It does have, you know, a headphone jack, or you can connect Bluetooth. I don't know if Bluetooth headset will work. I haven't tried it yet, but you know, there's a headphone jack if you want. I've just been playing with the sound way down while my wife and I watch TV. So there are some cosmetic complaints. See this right here? When you're playing it, all you see, you know, I don't notice this one so much, but I just see it, and I'm like, what is on my screen? And it's just part of the case mold. And, you know, it's so annoying. This one's exactly the same, but for some reason I only noticed this one. I don't know if it's just the way when I'm holding it, the light hits it or something. Like these up here on the top, I don't really mind. That one is just so annoying. If the case wasn't, you know, kind of see-through, I don't think it would have been an issue. On the back here, you know, it's a good enough form factor. You've got your shoulder triggers, you've got, you know, just that thin thing there. Like, the battery is nice. If you're holding it like this, it's good because you've got the finger ridges, but if you're actually holding the triggers too, it's pretty good. You know, the speaker's down here, so it's going to get blocked a little, but it was like that with the Game Boy and stuff. Because it's basically just taking the Game Boy's look and, you know, modifying it to have the buttons. The joystick is pretty short, so it does stay out of the way when your thumb's here, but it's not too bad when you're using it. The button clicks. The button clicks are definitely... you're not going to be able to hear them on the Rode mic, but like the AB and the Y and X and stuff, they're kind of loud when you're watching TV with somebody. You become very conscious of the clickety-clickety. You know, it is what it is. Game Boy was the same way. It's just the nature of the beast. We're just used to screens that we can touch and stuff, and you know, it is what it is. Those are my only real complaints. The manual, it would have been nice if they had the correct button configuration to get out of a game. That is something I couldn't figure out, and I was having to turn it on and off, which I'm sure was not great for the Linux install. You know, I did it multiple times and it was fine, but eventually that's going to probably create some instance where it borks the build, and then, you know, then you're troubleshooting that. The reset button is recessed enough that, sorry, you guys can't see it. It is recessed enough that you actually need something. I cannot press it with my fingernail, which is nice. You're not going to accidentally hit it. You get your power button right there. You get your volume buttons over here. They're not the best. Like, they don't feel as nice as the power button. I wish they were independent buttons instead of one button. They're on that like little seesaw thing. But, you know, no major complaints. I'm sure it'll work fine. And there is a button configuration to change the volume where you can always go into an options menu and change the volume if for some reason the buttons did wear out or break or got grit in them or whatever. So, yeah, overall, this Burnick RG351V is a nice thing. You can feel the heat up here from when we were playing the Dreamcast and the Nintendo 64. It does create a bit of heat, but I'm pretty sure this is just a giant heat sink, so it's doing its job. Battery life, you know, it's not the best. Depending on what you're playing, it's going to make a huge difference. I played Super Nintendo for 2.5 hours the other day, and I still had 60-something% of the battery. Not a big deal. And when you are playing it, you know, you do have the port here. This is going to be the one you're going to charge it, USB-C. This is something I want to talk about. This is a major complaint of mine. USB-C to USB-C does not work to charge this device. I have tried all of my USB-C to USB-C cables for my Pixel, which is filming here, my Pixel 3, for you know, other devices I have that use USB-C. They will not charge. It is a USB-C port. It will not charge on any USB-C to USB-C I have. It will charge with every single USB-C to USB-A cable I have. Not a big deal. But for some people that have migrated almost entirely USB-C, you know, that's going to mean having your own charging brick just for this. And it does come with a USB-C to USB-A cable. Does not come with a charging brick. So you're going to want to make sure you have something USB-A, either a computer port or more ideally a power brick that you can charge from. But it was nice because you have USB-C here, so in theory, if you wanted to extend your playing time, you could just use a USB battery bank to feed it. You may or may not be using power faster than it can transfer, so, you know. But if you're on the go and you have one of those battery banks or you go camping or you're on a long road trip, it's definitely something where you could have that. When you get tired of playing, plug it in, let it charge, pick it back up, you're good to go. Like, see, we're still, you know, it's not like it's going to suck through battery. We're doing good here on the battery after the demo. But yeah, that's my only major complaint is the USB-C. And I'm sure that's something they can fix in software. You know, I want to see why not. I've rambled incessantly in this video. I'm going to edit some of it out. So if you guys have made it this long, we're at like 28 minutes right now. I'm going to try to trim that down. I guess we'll see in the comments how much it's trimmed down. Amazon link in the comments to this. I do use Amazon affiliate links, so if you don't want to click that and, you know, open it in an incognito tab, or just look up, you know, RG351V on Amazon or AliExpress. These are on AliExpress. You know, you'll deal with that slow shipping. And by default, the Amazon seller was sending them the slow China way because this did come straight from the factory in China. So, like I said earlier in the video, I paid for the expedited DHL shipping. I didn't know it was going to be DHL, but it was. And it actually came one business day early. It came on Friday. It was supposed to come today when I'm filming this on Monday. So, yeah. If you're looking for a good retro handheld, and you just want to stick to similar things, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Sega, all that stuff, Nintendo, yeah, I would definitely get one of these things. I am very satisfied with this purchase. And even, you know, Mario Kart, like I showed you guys, it's totally playable. You're not going to be able to play like Perfect Dark or something on here because it needed that expansion card thing. And I doubt it's going to work, but for the titles that it came with, it certainly works, and you can always experiment. You can go in and tweak the emulator settings some and stuff, so you might get a better experience that way. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. That's been the RG351V